Hi, today we're going to review the first 4 lessons of Chapter 12. Our first lesson involves solving two-step equations, where we said you wanted to apply the add-out property and then isolate or get the variable by itself by using that property of equality, which means we do the same thing to both sides. On our first one right here, if I notice on the left, I have a variable all by itself already, so I want that variable to be alone. I want to get rid of this 9. And the way that I'm going to get rid of 9 is to add a negative 9 or subtract 9 from both sides. So my problem then is going to say 3x is equal to 63. And now to solve or undo multiplying by 3, I'm going to divide both sides by 3. And my solution will be x is equal to, because 3 divided by 3 is 1, 63 divided by 3 would give me 21 for my first solution. Can you please pause the recording and do the next 2 on your own, writing them on a piece of paper? Okay, going on to number 2, we already have our variable by itself, so we want to get rid of this negative 7, and the way we're going to get rid of a negative 7 is to add 7 onto both sides. That should be a 7 there and a 7 here. We are then going to add down, so we still have this 2q right here. Here we have negative 7 and 7. Those are opposites, so become 0. 13 plus 7 is going to give me 20. And now to undo multiplying by 2, I'm going to divide by 2 on both sides. And so my q is equal to 10. On the third one here, the variable is already by itself again, so we want to get rid of this positive 11 by adding a negative 11 to both sides or subtracting 11. Adding down, we're going to have a negative 4 times a number is equal to 64. 64. To undo, multiplying by negative 4, I'm going to divide by negative 4 on both sides. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is 1, so over here we have y. And on this side, if I divide positive by a negative, I know my answer is going to be negative. And 4 fits into 64. Well, I'm going to break 64 into 40 and 24. And I know that 4 fits into 40 10 times, and 4 fits into 24 6 times. So my answer would be a negative 16. That was our first lesson. Second lesson, multi-step problems. We're just going to, first of all, change all subtraction to adding the opposite. Simplify one side. It might mean that we are going to distribute. For example, if we had 4 times x plus 2, remember the distributive property, we take 4 times x, 4 times 2, and get 4x plus 8. Or we might be combining like terms, and then we're going to solve our problems just like we did on the first lesson. If I looked at this first problem right here, I'm looking and I can put my 2y and 4y together to get 6y. So I have 6y plus 8 is equal to 44. I want to get the 6y by itself. So I'm going to get rid of this 8, and the way I'm going to get rid of 8 is I'm going to add a negative 8 or subtract 8 on both sides. Adding down now, I have 6y here. This is 0, property of opposites, and that gives me 36. And dividing both sides by 6, 6y divided by 6 gives me y. 36 divided by 6 is going to give me 6. On the second one, please pause the video and try it on your own. On this one right here, I'm seeing a bunch of negative signs, which I don't like to see, or subtraction. So I'm going to change this to adding a negative 12 and adding a negative 2. And the reason why is because when we add things together, order doesn't matter. We can use the commutative property. So now I'm looking, I've got 11c and a negative 2c. I know that's going to give me 10c plus a negative 12 is going to leave me with 6 on the right-hand side. I want the variable by itself, So I want to get rid of this negative 12, and the way I get rid of a negative 12 is I'm going to add 12 to it. So I'm going to add 12 over here. I'm going to add 12 over here, and I just realized I made a mistake right here. 11c and a negative 2c, I hope you caught that too, is going to give me a 9c instead. Sorry about that, 9c. All right, going back to adding 12 onto both sides, I'm going to have 9c over here. A negative 12 and positive 12 gives me 0, and 6 plus 12 is going to give me 18. 9 times the number is 18. I'm going to divide both sides by 9, and 18 divided by 9 is going to give me a solution of c is equal to 2. Okay, lesson 12.3. With this one, what we did is we wanted to apply the add-op prop. That's always my first step. I like to have everything as addition. Then we're going to simplify, just like before. We're going to combine like terms. We're going to distribute. Then now on these kinds of problems, we're going to have variables on both sides. So we want to get the variable, get rid of the smaller variable by doing the add-op prop. We're then going to isolate the variable so it's all alone, and then solve for the unknown. So if I was to look at this first one right here, I'm going to extend my page a little bit. If I look on the right-hand side, there is nothing I can do to make that any easier right there. So I'm looking, I notice I've got 6x on one side, I've got 2x on the other side. I want the variable only on one side of the equation. So I want to get rid of this 2x. So I'm going to add a negative 2x to both sides. Negative 2x, negative 2x. I'm going to add down, and I've got 4x over here. On the right-hand side, I'm going to have 24. And then finally, I want to solve for 1x. So just to undo multiplying by 4, I'm going to divide both sides by 4. And 4x divided by 4 is x. 24 divided by 4 is going to give me 6. Can you please try these next two on a piece of paper and pause the video? And we'll start up again shortly. Okay, let's check your work on this first one right here. If I look on the left-hand side, there's nothing I can do to simplify. So what I'm going to do is I want to, I've noticed I've got negative 4y on this side and positive 6y on this side. I want to get rid of the smaller variable. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 4y onto both sides. It's really hard to do for me to do 4s on here. Add a positive 4y onto both sides. So negative 4y and 4y, those are opposite values, so it's 0. So all I've left on the left side is a 10, and on the right side I have 10y. So 10 is the same as 10y. To undo multiplying by 10, I'm going to divide both sides by 10. 10 divided by 10 is 1, and 10y divided by 10 is also going to give me a 1y. Okay, on the next one right here, if I look, I want to change this to adding the opposite. On this case, I have 3c and negative 5c, but I'm noticing I've got a number right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of that 3c. So I have c's only on one side. So I'm going to do negative 3c on, negative 3c on both sides. 3c and negative 3c gives me 0. So I've left over here is a negative 32 is equal to a negative 8c. There we go. And I want to undo multiplying by negative 8, so I'm going to divide by negative 8. Divide by negative 8. Negative 32 divided by negative 8 is a positive 4, and c is equal to a positive 4. Okay, a couple harder ones. Please write these 4 down on your piece of paper and try to solve them. Okay, here we are back. I'm going to show our steps here step by step. On the first one, we first of all should have subtracted 2x from both sides, a negative 2x. Subtracted 2x or added a negative 2x. When we do that, we'll have 5x is equal to 70. To undo multiplying by 5, we're going to divide by 5. And our solution, the first one should be x is equal to 14. On the second one, I wanted to get rid of my smaller variable. I want to get rid of that negative 2p. So in order to do that, I'm going to add 2p onto both sides. You should have done this on your work. Working down then, 3p and 2p is 5p, plus 14 is equal to 74. Subtracting 14 on both sides, we have 5p is equal to 60. Dividing by 5 will give us a solution of p is equal to 12. I'm going to scroll this down. I'm not going to walk through all the steps on here, but I'm showing it on here. Your solution for the first one should have been x is equal to 10. The second one, y is equal to 4. Reason why I'm not showing you how to do that one, I'd like you just to look through it, pause it if you need to. It's going to do our last lesson, which is on inequalities, using our symbols. Less than, remember this is less than or equal to, greater than, and greater than or equal to. So the temperature today will be at most 50, which means 50 is the biggest number it can be. It can be 49, 48, whatever the case is going to be. So our temperature is going to be less than 50. Okay, it could also be equal to 50, so that would be our first one. Number 2, the temperature tomorrow will be above 70. So not equal to 70, bigger than 70, more than 70. So the temperature is going to be more than 70 degrees. It cannot be equal to, so we don't draw that line there. Yesterday there was less than 2 inches of rain. So I'm comparing the rain to 2. Now the rain did not equal 2, it's less than 2. So it could be 1, it could have been 1.5 inches. So our rain was less than 2 inches. And last Monday there was at least 3 inches of rain. So there could have been 3 inches, there could have been 4 inches, there could have been 5 inches. So it could have been equal, oops, sorry, that should be a 3, to 3 inches. So it could have been equal to 3 or more than 3 inches. Okay, remember when we're graphing, a closed dot means that the number is a solution. An open dot means it's not a solution. Remember also we want to shade all of our solutions in that direction. Okay, for the sake of time, I have the answers up here, but I will go through them with you. Our first one here says a number is less than or equal to -2. So I have my number line, and I just realized I did this wrong. It should be a -2, not a +2, Mrs. Morum. So if this is 0 right here, and I'm sorry, this is really hard to draw on my computer. If this is 0, this is -1, this is -2. Our number could be equal to -2, so I'm going to -2. I'm going to do a dot at -2. I'm going to fill it in. And it says a number is less than -2. So I want to think in my head, this is where -3 would be. -3 is less than -2, so it should look like that right there. On the second one, a number is greater than -5. So I have an open dot at -5. It's not equal to -5, so open dot. And I want to shade in all numbers that are bigger than -5. So we should shade to the right. With the third one, a number is less than or equal to 0. So I'm going to put my dot at 0. I'm going to think, can 0 be a solution? Yes, it can. So I'm going to shade it in. And then I'm going to shade to the left. All numbers less than 0. And then the last one here, a number is less than 1/2. So my dot is going to be between 0 and 1. 1/2 would be right here. 1/2 is not a solution. 1/2 is not less than 1/2. So I have an open dot. I'm going to shade to the left. And then finally we did some compound inequalities where we're going to have 2 dots. In this case, I'm comparing my number to 3. So a number is greater than 3, not equal to 3. So here's my 3. I have an open dot at 3, shading to the right. Or a number is less than -2. It's not equal to -2. So I have an open dot at -2, shading to the left. If I have -4 is less than a number and this number is less than 4, I'm going to have a closed dot at -4. -4 is less than the number, so -4 is less than -3 and less than -2 and less than -1. We also know the number is less than -4, so we're going to have a closed less than or equal, closed dot at -4, shaded right here.